Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura B. Flosstube. Welcome or welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. Today I'm going to be sharing all of my Flosstube goodness on cross stitch and quilting from the month of September 2024. It is October 1st, 2024. I'm coming to you from the beautiful Columbia, Missouri. I am so excited that fall has almost arrived. We're still getting a few days. It's a little warm, but the fall temps are definitely coming in and they're more evident on a daily basis. We're going to jump right into cross stitch and I'm going to share a couple finishes and some progress and some goals that I didn't get to but are carrying over to October. So we're just going to start with the first finish, which is the 2016 Prairie Schooler Santa. So let me grab him. Okay, first finish is the 2016 Prairie Schooler Santa. Cute little Santa Claus with a cute little reindeer. So this was really fun to stitch. It didn't take too long, honestly. None of the Prairie Schooler Santas take that much time, but there definitely is, a lot of stitching in there. I did make a little modification because I didn't like the hoe right here. It was over here between the reindeer antlers. It was like ho, ho, ho. And I didn't like that. I wanted them all together, sort of, just separated by his arm. So I moved that over here and then I just put the year, stitched it, and over here. And I've been doing that with all of my Prairie Schooler Santas just so I know, honestly, it's so I can keep track of which ones I've gotten done and which ones I haven't. So this is the 2016. It is stitched on a 14 count dirty Aida with called for DMC floss, and I am super happy with him. The next Prairie Schooler Santa that I have to do is 1991, and that one has, he's carrying a fruit basket with some pineapple and things. So I do need to pull some additional floss colors for that one because I haven't used any of those colors in the previous Prairie Schoolers. So that will be on my list of to do. I'm not sure. I don't have that down to start in October. I might start it. I might not. That's kind of like an on the fence deal. All right, my next finish is the Lori Holt Stitch Card Set U, and I was stitching that into a 2x2 grid. So let me grab that one so you can see it. All right, so Stitch Card Set U, I bought these from Fat Quarter Shop. I know that that's probably the easiest place to get them because they have all of them in stock, but there are other places online that you can buy the stitch cards as well. I really did just kind of stitch them in the order that was on the front of the stitch card sheet. And, well, let me just show you. Okay, so this is stitched on a 28 count mushroom Lugana. I did use all the called for DMC. I did just kind of lengthen the border and I went around all 4 of them and then put the 4 squares inside. I still might go back and do something in between these blocks just because I feel like it's a little more space than I wanted. But I didn't want them super close to one another, but I didn't want them super far away either. So I don't know. I can't decide. What do you think? I feel like it would be at least beneficial to put something right here and oops. All right, so I don't know. I can't decide. I feel like it could be kind of neat to put something right here in the middle, even if it's just like a little bitty small star, or even like these little X's or something. I have about, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 stitches in there, so I could do something that was 5 high, or I could do something that was, 3 high, I guess. All those little X's, like in this, that would fit perfectly. I could just do all of those in a plus sign pattern. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's fine the way it is? Do you think it needs something added to it? I think the bottom line is it going to bug me, really? Is it going to bug me if I leave it the way it is, or is it going to bug me if I add something to it? And you just don't know until you do it, I guess. So I'm kind of on the fence, but for right now, I'm going to call it finished. Yeah, I'm just going to call it finished for right now, at least. Before I frame it, I need to make a decision. Well, that's not true either, because I could frame it and then unframe it and then, Anyway, leave me a comment down below and tell me, would you add something to it? Would you leave it the way it is? Is it too much space? Is it, yeah, what would you do? Okay, so the next 2 things are progress updates on the other 2 cross-stitch patterns that I was working on this last month. The first one is Cabinet of Curiosities. That is a Halloween sampler basically, and it's from Stitchonomy. It was a free stitch along a few years ago, and now you can buy the whole pattern as a paid pattern from their Etsy shop. So if you like it, that's where you need to go to get it. Oof, I'm just going to apologize in advance. This one is super wrinkly, but I've been working on it and shoving it in a bag. All right, so this is how far I am with it. I am down to day 21. So I have 10 more boxes to go, the 8 here, obviously, and this one and the one in the center. The first 10 boxes I got done in August, and then the next 11, I guess, I got done in September. So October, I'm going to try to get this done before the middle of October, because I'd like to finish this. I'm going to finish this as kind of like a wall banner, and don't tell her, but I'm going to give it to a friend that loves Halloween. All right, so yeah, I have kind of moved around some of the charts just to be, I don't know. I honestly, the first one I put in the wrong place, and I was like, oh shoot. And then I was like, oh, it's fine, it doesn't matter. So now I'm just kind of like stitching wherever I want, basically. So they're not going to be in this exact same location as the pattern you see. Let me tell you, let's see. Let me tell you about what I'm doing. This is a 14 count. I believe it's Stormy Night, hand-dyed Ada. I honestly just pulled out DMC colors that were close to what the called for were, and I am just stitching as I can on it. Like I said, I'm hoping to get this done by the middle of October so I can get it finished and given to a friend as, you know, a gift, just a little fun gift. So, yeah. So that's Cabinet of Curiosities. Now for the big one. I am also working on Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, Houses on Pumpkin Lane. I've been working on it for a while. I have not really put a priority on it. I love the stitch. I love the design. I did the houses on Christmas Lane, and I love the end result of that one. I don't know. I just haven't really made a lot of progress on this, I guess. But, you know, it is what it is. It'll get finished when it gets finished. So this is house 4. This is the sunflower house, and that's where I'm at. So I have the cute little bird tree thing over here done, and the top banner and a few of the stars, and I'm starting to work on the house. You're going to notice if you look at the pattern that I've done a few modifications just because, let's be honest, I just didn't want to take the stitches back out. So I modified the little window here in the center because this middle window is supposed to be, I think, 2 X's shorter, and I just didn't want to take my stitches out. So I just modified the design a little bit, which, you know, my cross stitch, my decision. Let me show you what this one's going to look like when the sunflower house is done, just so you have that frame of reference. So that's what the sunflower house will look like. So obviously I have a lot to do. Now remember, I am not doing this bottom border at all on any of the designs. So a little less stitching for me that way. And it'll keep my design a little smaller because the model for this design was stitched on 18 count. I actually think it was on a 36 count, 2/2. But I am doing it on a 28 count Lugana. So mine is basically on 14 count, and that means it's going to be rather large. And actually this is the width of the design because I have the first 3 done. I showed these in the last floss tube closer, but now I'm on the second row. So that is where I'm at. There are 9 houses total. So it's going to be rather large when I get this done. I am definitely looking forward to getting it done. And I'm just making progress as I can. Obviously, it's not going to be done for this fall, so maybe for next fall. The other cross-stitch goal I had for September was to start the Hometown Holidays sampler, which is a Lori Holt design. I did not start it. I haven't pulled cloth or floss or anything for it, so that did not get accomplished, and I'm fine with it. Because, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I want to do that design. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be a this year or a next year project. So it's just hanging out, and if I decide to stitch it at some point in time, I can. So that's kind of all my cross stitch updates. I'm going to go into quilt updates, and then we're also going to talk about upcoming YouTube video series, and we're going to talk about October goals. So quilting, I actually feel like I have a lot accomplished for quilting. I have lots of videos like recorded in advance for some of the series that I'm doing. So spoiler alert, I actually have the Lori Holt Be Happy quilt finished. The top is finished, but those videos are kind of scheduled out through November 7th. So you'll see one of those show up every Thursday with the next week of the applique blocks for the Be Happy quilt. But yeah, spoiler, that one is done. I also have a t-shirt quilt that I put together. It's really large, and I don't think I have a picture of it, but it's like a queen size t-shirt quilt that's like in the pile to be quilted, and that's for a friend. It's a memorial project for his dad who passed away. So that one is together and ready to be quilted. And talking about quilting, I also finished, which I can put a picture of this one up here. I finished a purple Oberlin Star queen size quilt. This is on my king size bed, but it's like turned sideways just to cover the bed, basically. I don't know. Anyway, oversized queen size, oversized queen here. It's an oversized queen size quilt, all in purples. It's the Oberlin Star pattern that I made one other time for my aunt, actually. So this one is in just 2 shades of purple, and that one is in the pile to be quilted as well. So I got that finished this last month. And then in addition to that, I finished 3 angel wings quilts, and I'm going to actually flip this around and show you one of them and then hold up the other 2. And just let you know, for the angel wings, that's like it's the Angel Wings clothing closet in Mexico, Missouri. They do Easter baskets for foster kids, and they put a quilt in those. In the last few years, I've been supporting that initiative and just supplying some small quilts to go in those baskets. So I'm going to flip this around so I can show you a couple of my quick and easy little quilts that I've done for them. All right, so this one is up on the design wall, actually, because I just finished it. And it honestly took me like 45 minutes. I have a ton of 5-inch squares that my friend Carol, thank you so much, Carol, and I cut out at just like a little evening sit and sew thing here in Columbia that we did with our guild. She helped me cut out 5-inch squares from like a tote of scraps that I had from my brother. And so this morning I just grabbed the orange and the yellow and just set down the sewing machine and just sewed them into an 8x10 grid and then sewed the rows together, and this is the finished result. So that's super fun. The other one, this is also scraps, I grabbed was all of these rainbow colors. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah. It goes this way, but anyway, all these rainbow colors, all these fun tie-dyes. I have all those scraps, and I just grabbed, again, the baggie of all the rainbow scraps and then just put them into a pattern. And just because I felt like all those rainbow colors needed a little breakup, I just made 3 large black stars and just put those kind of randomly based on, the amount of scraps that I had, honestly. And on the scrap tote that I had, already had like a ton of these half square triangles with the rainbow and the black. So that's kind of where I got the idea to do the black stars. I was like, well, I already have some half square triangles, so I'm going to go ahead and like throw those into an easy pattern. Another thing in the scrap tote was a bunch of Mizzou fabric, and there were a ton of half square triangles in it as well. Now, I'm just going to tell you, this design did not go together the way I was intending for it to do. And actually, let me just take this one down and I'll put this one up and then you can see it better. Okay, so this design did not go together the way I intended, but I just decided to leave it. I was just over it at that point. I put this one together actually with my featherweight, which I'm so happy is repaired and working again. Thank you so much, Linda, for helping me with that. But this was supposed to be like this. So this whole half star was supposed to be turned the other way. But by the time I got to this point, I was like, I just can't. I just can't. Because I had a couple of these that were wrong on the sides that I had to take out and put back in. And I was just over it. And so I'm just leaving it. It's going to be fine. And besides all of you and me, no one else is going to know this wasn't like the initial pattern or the intentional design. So I'm just leaving it and I'm washing my hands of it and saying, it's great, it's fine. And some kid will love it and it's going to be amazing and it's fine. So yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. It's fine, it's fine. All right, so those are the 3 angel wing quilt tops that I got done in September. And then let's see, the only other thing I guess that I'm going to share, I did 3 bed runners for another friend. He gave me a box of vintage fabric, and I was going to use them on some angel wing quilts, which I probably still will. But then he was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And I was like, "Sure." So he would like, or he asked me to make some bed runners for his wife and her sisters as a surprise for Christmas. Hopefully they don't watch my YouTube. Yeah, so this is one of the 3 bed runners. I just did a really simple Irish chain. And to be quite honest, I love Irish chains for a quick, easy quilt because you can strip piece them. So I basically just did strip pieces of the yellow, white, yellow, and the white, yellow. You know, I did strip pieces of all 3 of those and made out the blocks and then cut the other squares to go in between. This is a 6.5-inch block because you use 2.5-inch strips. So super, super easy, super quick. And it's, they're basically 18 by 96, I believe. So they'll be a nice size to go across a king size bed at the end. And it'll be a fun little memory for them of their mom. So that is my quilting stuff that I'm going to share. I'm going to flip us back around over there and talk some more. Here is your you heard it here first moment. I spent an entire day, and I think it was like 10 hours, cutting out the Let's Make a Snowman quilt, which is the current sew along with Lori Holt on her blog. I am 4 weeks behind, I believe, maybe 5. And I had the kit and I just hadn't cut it out. I hadn't gotten started. I've been working on Be Happy. I've been very busy with school, and so I just hadn't gotten it cut out. But I had a day where I could just cut. So I spent 10 hours cutting everything out for this quilt, and then I traced all the shapes, and I am prepped and ready to go whenever I decide to sit down and sew. So this is you heard it here first. I am behind, but I am going to be making this quilt and I am going to be recording the videos each week. So if you're like me and you're also behind on Let's Make a Snowman, I'm going to start those videos on November 14th. So it's going to be right after Be Happy. The November 14th video is going to be kind of like just going over what you need and just some prep work and things like that. And then the first week of blocks is going to be November 21st. So between now and the 14th, if you don't have a kit or if you're planning on using scraps, gather all your stuff. And I will be going through just some things that I do to get organized for that quilt. I'll show you what my totes look like now that everything is cut. And we will do this together. So if you're behind like me, maybe you want to be another month behind and start on the 14th. So I first wasn't going to do this because it's a current sew along with her. But then I had a few people on Instagram when I talked about cutting out the quilt. They were like, "Oh, are you going to do a sew along for this?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I wasn't going to, but maybe I will." Because I know you guys do appreciate all the tips and tricks that I share with you in those videos. And I'm going to be making the quilt anyway, so I might as well record a few things to share with you. So yeah, we're going to start it. November 14th will be the Let's Get Organized and Prepared video, and then the 21st will be the first week of blocks. So if you want to play along, there's your heads up. So upcoming videos, besides Let's Make a Snowman, which isn't starting till the middle of November, the Lori Holt Be Happy Quilts series is still going to be continuing on Thursdays. Those are scheduled out through November 7th. So you will be able to keep up and get your quilt completed if you're keeping up, or the videos are going to be there, so do it at your own pace, right? And then on Tuesdays, I'm continuing the vintage series with different projects that we're creating from that pink vintage quilt that I cut up a few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that. So that will be continuing on Tuesdays. After that series wraps up, I do have a few more videos in mind that I'm going to be doing for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping you're enjoying the videos. Like I feel like the Tuesday, Thursday thing is working pretty well. At some point I might decide to, I don't know, switch it up and do a different day or something, but I'll, you know, do an update on the community tab and keep you posted about that. Last thing to do is talk about October goals. October goals, I want to finish the Cabinet of Curiosities. That is my top goal, my top priority for October. I also want to finish the 4th house on the Pumpkin Lane series. I might start the 5th house if the 4th house gets done relatively early in the month. I may not, who knows. I am going quilting on October 19th and 20th. I'm staying the night with my mom, which should be super fun. I've told her that I do not want a traditional girls sleepover. We're not going to be freezing each other's bras or doing pillow fights or staying up all night watching movies and eating junk food. So, because I need a quilt on the 20th. My mom was like, yeah, I think I can handle that. Anyway, it gives her something to think about. Love you, Mom. I do have another quilt that I want to get started for a friend. It's a Christmas themed quilt. He loves Christmas, so I plan on getting that one cut out in October. And then I have some Angel Wing Scrap Buster quilts that I'm going to try to get together, and I may record a video for one of those actually just to kind of show you the process. So if you have some scraps lying around, then you can do one too. I found, oh my gosh, I am so excited. So I am the past CEO for the local guild here in Columbia, and I am responsible for getting the speaker for our annual meeting next June. And I found the coolest person ever. I'm so excited. I don't know how I'm going to make it until next June to actually meet her in person, because she is the coolest person I have seen in a long time. So Tia Curtis from Leavenworth, Kansas is going to be our annual speaker. So if you're part of the local guild, now you know something that a lot of people don't know. Shh, don't tell. I got her Berry Jam quilt pattern. I'm going to put a link in the description box down below for you. And my mind just started spinning with ideas. She does modern quilting and she does a lot of improv quilting. And I don't know what it was about that pattern, but it just like totally inspired me. And I started thinking about different ways to improv her improv quilt, and just different ways to modify it and just to kind of add my own little flair to it. And I'm so super excited. So I'm hoping that I'll have time to get one of those Berry Jam quilts cut out, or at least started or something, get the stuff gathered or something. Anyway, and kind of get my idea kind of formulated on how I'm gonna do my own little spin and twist for Berry Jam quilt. So that is the goals for October. Now, I will tell you, I don't know if any of them are going to get actually accomplished, because I have got 3 weeks in class coming up that are going to be monsters. If I make it through the 20th of October, I will be doing really well, I believe, I hope. And I think that the last month of the class is going to be intense as well. So yeah, I'm just going to try to set some side away for crafting and creating, because that is definitely my personal meditation and therapy time for myself to just decompress. But I also have to keep that in balance with work and school and family and life. So just like everyone, right? Everyone does that. So no different with me. But yeah, I am enjoying everything I'm doing, so it's worth it. And I'm having fun. I hope you enjoyed some of the things you saw today. Leave me a comment down below. What was your favorite thing that I saw? What is something that you would love to hear more about? And I'll try to work those into upcoming videos. So until next time, find joy in all you do. Carve out some time for crafting and creating, and make sure it is always happy stitching.